Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, Turner Sports, NBA analyst, and it's the annual fundraiser time for Reg as Dropping Dimes Foundation, and he's certainly been one of the leaders of this on the forefront of Dropping Dimes Foundation, organization created to assist retired NBA players who have fallen on hard times. More on that from Reg coming up in a moment. Good morning, Reg. Who wins tonight?
Toronto.
Oh, it's over. Okay.
It's over tonight. Look, we've been going back and forth of this. I am as shocked as just about anyone on how these finals have gone. I felt even without Kevin Durant, the Warriors, especially the way they have played coming into the finals with the ball movement. Steph had found his groove back to where that first MVP year. And things seemed to be clicking. Draymond Green was playing at an all-time high. They were getting contributions from Kawhi Looney. So I felt that they had enough to beat the Raptors without KD. But we were all surprised and we were all wrong. And you got to give Nick Nurse and Kawhi and the Raptors all the credit. But I will have a poll question for McLovin for tomorrow. Let's just say Toronto does win. Okay. Does San Antonio, and I know Toronto's going to, do they retire, when it's all said and done, do they retire Kawhi's number? Does his numbers hang from the Raptors both in San Antonio and Toronto? There's only a few players that they get that privilege. I know Shaq has it. I know Michael Jordan has it in Chicago, Miami. Wilt Chamberlain, I believe, has it with Golden State and Philly. Does Kawhi Leonard have two numbers retired in two different buildings?
How many Raptors have they retired? Well, if they win, yes.
I don't think they have retired anyone.
Okay.
Right? Have they? I don't think so.
If they haven't retired Vince Carter's, then they haven't retired anybody's.
Well, he's still active, but yeah. I'm assuming he will get retired. Maybe Bosh will get retired.
Yeah.
But certainly Kawhi will get retired. First of all, Kawhi should be the first to get a statue. I love Vince, but Vince didn't deliver the promised land. Again, it's not over, but we're assuming. But if they go on to win a championship, Kawhi should be the first to have a statue in Jurassic Park. I do know that.
Okay, how many Spurs have had their numbers retired, Paulie?
I got Johnny Moore, Avery Johnson, Bruce Bowen, James Silas, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Sean Elliott.
They're pretty lenient there.
Gervin, David Robinson.
They're pretty lenient there, Reg. Don't you think Kawhi being an MVP of the finals, winning a championship?
Yes, but the only reason why I asked that is how he left there.
Yeah.
Now, will there be water under the bridges and bygones be bygones, and you did deliver us one of our 5 championships, and yes, your number should be hanging here, or will they harbor some ill will? I believe he should have his number retired in both when it's all said and done, because we will consider him one of the all-time greats. Especially, he's highlighted that in this series and in these playoffs. But
you know what, though, Reg? I don't think Kawhi Leonard cares.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he'll care at all. It's not one of those where you go, man, it'd be nice if they honored me. I don't think Kawhi is going to care.
I agree 100%. That's his nature.
Yeah.
But how we were looking for this matchup between Kawhi and Kevin Durant. Personally, I still don't think Kevin Durant's playing tonight. I think this is, from the Warriors' standpoint, I think they've been always saying, he'll be back, games 3 and 4 possibly. I think they have been doing this to kind of tease the Toronto Raptors a little bit, make them go over a different type of scouting report in anticipation of him coming back. I don't think, and it never fazed Toronto, by the way. I just don't think he's coming back. There's no way you can come back and play at this level of an important game like Game 5, a closeout game with your team with his back to the – I just don't see him coming back. I could be completely wrong. He could suit up and we could see him tonight. But I just think the injury at first, initially, I thought it was Achilles, but it's not, obviously, if he's practicing. But I just think that injury, the way – again, go back to the way he looked back. That told me everything, and I just do not see him playing tonight. I hope I'm wrong. Dan, I hope I'm wrong.
But, Reg, I think they unintentionally did a disservice to KD because it felt like, you know what, he's close to coming back in the Houston series or the Portland series, and then in this series, and then it's going to be the next game, and then it's going to be the next game. I think they got to, instead of just having a blanket statement saying KD's not coming back anytime soon, and if he does, it'll be a great bonus for us, but we're not expecting him to come back. I don't care if the gamesmanship with Toronto. I don't think Toronto is losing sleep going, oh, my God, now we got to prepare for him.
Correct.
And that's why I just think Golden State, they didn't try to do this, but I think the perception publicly is, come on, KD, what's wrong with you?
But I will also say this could be coming a little bit from KD's camp as well, because as a former player who's had an injury and had to play in important games, if I felt good and the training staff came to me and says, I'm progressing and I feel pretty good, he could be sending out those messages as well to the coaching staff, and that, Raymond Ritter, the media, the PR guys for the Warriors, I mean, they're taking that as a grain of salt too. Well, KD says he feels fine, and so they can kind of be adding a little bit life to the story as well. I just don't see him playing tonight, because what will he gain from this? If it was 2-2, possibly. But 3-1, and you're going to come back? If anything, you should have come back in Game 4. If you could play in Game 5, you could play in Game 4. That's how I always thought of things. If you could play in Game 5, you could have played in Game 4.
But let's say they win tonight.
With him or without him?
Without him. And then you go back home.
I would roll the dice again without him.
Okay.
And if we find a way to win that, if anything, he would come back for Game 7.
Yeah.
If anything, to give you that extra, push on the road in Jurassic Park, in that building, in that setting.
I know.
But you know what? It's not going to get to that. Toronto wins tonight. He's
Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA analyst. Tell the audience again about I think this I'm not sure how many years you've done this, but it's the annual fundraiser, Dropping Dimes Foundation, and explain what you're doing.
Well, this is the third year we're doing this.
Okay.
I'm a huge, as you know, cyclist, mountain biker, and this is a way for me to merge both worlds of basketball as well as cycling. The Dropping Dimes Foundation helps ABA players, not NBA. It's the old red, white, and blue ABA players. My good uncle Mel Daniels, Roger Brown, God rest their souls. That Pacers team, they meant everything to the city of Indiana. And now remember, when the ABA merged with the NBA, only the really good players were able to go from the ABA to the NBA. Dr. J, Rick Barry, the Iceman Gervin. So the really good players were taken from the ABA to play in the NBA. A lot of the ABA players, there was no health insurance, obviously, back in the late 60s and 70s. They didn't make a lot of money. So a lot of these players who are well in their, late 60s, 70s, and 80s, they've fallen on hard times. They can't even buy a suit to go for job interviews. So what these kits and jerseys from Castelli, thank you, Castelli Cycling, for merging and helping with me do these Boom Baby kits. Boom Baby comes from the great Slick Leonard when, the Pacers and myself would make threes. The Boom Baby, that's what he would say on the mic. So that's what these jerseys are about. If you love cycling, if you love hiking, they're good for hiking as well because they have pockets in the back. There's a mountain bike jersey as well. So it's a chance for me. We got to remember the guys that paved the way for players like LeBron and Kobe and Kawhi and Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. A lot of those ABA players, they laid the foundations for us. And I just don't want people to forget about the ABA players. As great as the NBA is, there was other basketball with great players, and that's the American Basketball Association, Theodore.
Yeah, it's CastelliCycling.com, and you'll learn more information about Boom Baby and Dropping Dimes Foundation for the retired ABA players. Did you see where Rajon Rondo was talking about the possibility of the trade with Anthony Davis and what it meant to those young kids on the Lakers? Did you read those comments, Reg?
I did.
What did you make of that?
Once again, it's a mess. with the Lakers because you don't. I understand, the frustration from the players and the younger players because they felt every day they walked in that they weren't going to be able to get into the practice facility because their code was going to be denied. So you've got young players who are anywhere from 20 to 25 years old walking on eggshells with the face of the NBA and LeBron James. And then you've got a mess in the front office with Magic, Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, Linda Rambis, Kurt Ray. You don't know what's going on in the front office. So that's why, when people continue to say, the Lakers, they're going to be back this summer, I'm not so quite sure about that because there is such turmoil until they figure out the hierarchy of that franchise and the snipping. You can't have young players feel, look, the narrative was you can have anyone on our team but LeBron James. How do you think Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, how do you think these guys – and you want me to come out here and play hard, and I'm reading this in the paper? You can have anyone on our team other than LeBron James. That's terrible management, Theodore, terrible.
Yeah, and I know that you're supposed to be a grown-up and you understand it's a business. It's still –
I understand that.
The reality of your idol – where it's, hey, I'm playing with LeBron James. Wait, LeBron wants to have me traded.
Yes. I mean, a lot of these guys had his shoes, his posters. They idolized playing with him. Yeah. But on the flip side, I'm not going to put it all on LeBron, but he is the de facto face of the Lakers, right? He's the voice.
Yes.
He could be like, this is not happening. No, don't do this. He could have come out publicly.
Yeah, I think what Rondo was saying we assumed, but then to try to kind of go, okay, I didn't get traded. Let's just move forward with this, and I'm going to somehow put my heart and soul out there on the line for this guy who wants us traded. Oh, now he's injured. Now we're the ones playing here. I don't know. It's just. Yeah. It's a weird dynamic, even though you're paid to be a professional, and this is part of the territory of being a professional of the possibility of getting traded. That would be pretty difficult for me if all of a sudden the guy that I collected his shoes and had his poster and now I'm playing with him and wait, he wants us all traded?
It's very frustrating, especially for a young player. And I think Rondo, being the true professional he's been and being in situations, remember this, he was the young lad in Boston when it was KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. So he was that young lad that was trying to learn from the vets and understand. And he learned the right way, right? And ended up winning the championship. And think about all the places he's been since then, Dallas, Sacramento. He's seen so much in this league from veterans, because he's won now, to young players and being on young teams. He understands that this ain't right. This is not how things are done. Business is not done like this.
Yeah.
You don't put people's dirty laundry for an iconic franchise like the Lakers. You cannot have your dirty laundry just hanging out there for everyone to see. You just can't do that.
Go to the website, CastelliCycling.com/US Men's Collection, Boom Baby. And it's Reg's annual fundraiser, third year that he's done this. All the profits benefit the Dropping Dimes Foundation, an organization created to assist retired ABA players who have fallen on hard times. Reg,
and on top of that,
yep.
I match it as well. So whatever the total sales is, I match it as well. So please buy as many Boom Baby jerseys as possible because I get to match it, and it's an even bigger pot for these great ABA pioneers.
Thank you, Reg.
You're the best, Theodore.
Thank you, buddy.
I love y'all, but it's over. If anything, get ready for the Bruins and St. Louis for the finals, okay?
Right.
For Game 7.
Thank you, Reg. Got Reg doing hockey, too. Reg Miller, Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA analyst.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.